Here's why each NBA team will not win the title this year. Obviously, one of these teams will, but going 29 for 30 ain't too bad, so let's begin. 76ers. It all comes down to one man, and we don't know what version of Joel Embiid we're getting. He's never been past the second round, too. He's coming off another significant injury, and the history is just too hard to ignore. The 76ers always seem to be battling the injury bug at the worst possible times. Until Joel Embiid is both healthy and proves he could carry a team through 3 grueling playoff rounds, it's impossible to say the 76ers will be the next NBA champions. Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo is still one of the best players on the planet, but look at the roster around him. And after last year's early playoff exit, what do they got? They got older. Giannis has less help than last year, and clearly that wasn't good enough. The trade whispers around Giannis himself haven't gone away either. He actually might leave the Bucks soon, he might not, he might retire there. We don't actually know. We have more questions than answers. This team feels like it's on the decline, but it's desperately trying to stay on top. Bulls. They're in the middle of a rebuild. They have some interesting young pieces like Matas Bozilis, but they're years away from having that top-end talent needed to compete for a title. Cavaliers. The Cavs are a great regular season team. They'll win a lot of games. They might even be number 1 in the league. We've seen this movie before, and it doesn't have a happy ending. Great regular season team, the lights get too bright in the postseason, and then bam, they're out of the playoffs. Despite having Donovan Mitchell for years, they've never gone past the second round with him as their leader. But I will put an asterisk here and say this: with the Celtics and Pacers severely injured, this team has no excuse not to be in the finals. Speaking of the Celtics reign of terror in the East might be on pause. The reason is simple: no Jason Tatum, no Porzingis, and even Al Horford is not here anymore. Let's be clear, Tatum is their engine, their leader, and he's recovering from a ruptured Achilles. But even if we just pretend he's healthy, losing Porzingis and Al Horford is a big enough deal to say, hey, this is the main reason why this team is not title bound this upcoming season. Clippers. The Clippers have an incredible collection of veteran talent. Emphasis on the word veteran. They are the oldest team in NBA history. Let that sink in. With an average age of 33.2 years old, they're so old they broke the record that stood for over 20 years by that early 2000s Jazz team. Chris Paul is 40, Brook Lopez is 37, James Harden is 36. The wear and tear on this roster is immense, and Kawhi Leonard's injury history only amplifies the concern. This team is one pulled hamstring away from their title hopes evaporating. Grizzlies. It all comes down to their electric superstar, Ja Morant, and Ja Morant can't seem to find consistent time on the court. He's made just 59 appearances over the last 2 seasons. He's already currently battling an ankle issue to start this one. You can't be the best team in the league if your best player is constantly in and out of the lineup. Hawks. The Hawks made a big move pairing Trae Young with Kristaps Porzingis. On paper, it's exciting, but here's the problem: we don't know how quickly the Young and Porzingis duo can mesh in just 1 season because their contracts look very iffy after this season. Again, beyond the on-court fit that looks nice on paper, there's massive uncertainty. Porzingis is on a 1-year deal. Trae Young could be a free agent next summer. This team doesn't know if it's built to run, built to reset. There's a lot of instability. Heat. Never count out a Jimmy Butlerless Heat team, correct? Because Andrew Wiggins has now replaced him, so we may finally have to do so. Plus, this is an offensively challenged team that struggles with offensive efficiency. They've been at the bottom for the past 3 seasons. That's because they were 25th, 21st, and 21st again in the last 3 seasons. Without Butler, who's creating consistent offense? Bam Adebayo's scoring is down, Tyler Herro's coming off surgery, Eric Spoelstra is a wizard, but even he can't continue top-tier offense with this roster. Hornets. If LaMelo Ball is healthy for a full season, the offense could be fun, but that's a big if, and even if he is, the ultimate reason why they won't win a title is LaMelo has 0 playoff experience. Leading a team in a deep playoff run is not going to happen when you have 0 experience like that. Jazz. The Jazz are stuck in no man's land. This team doesn't know if it wants to rebuild or be a mediocre playoff team. They have an interesting front court with Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler. Their backcourt is unproven, and the front offense seems hesitant to fully commit to either direction of rebuilding or sticking to mediocrity. Kings. The Kings can score. Domantas Sabonis, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Russell Westbrook, you name it. There's a lot of offensive firepower, but when you got to get stops to win playoff games, that's the issue. Defense. The current roster is too defensively challenged. They paid Keegan Murray to be a stopper, but he can't guard all 5 positions. It's a loaded West. It'd be hard to see this team in the finals. Knicks. The Knicks are bringing back most of their core from last year's Eastern Conference Finals run, and they hired Mike Brown to fix their playoff defensive woes, but here's the issue. They just hired Mike Brown to fix said woes, and I don't think 1 season would be enough time to get that fully understood. Their offense completely stalled last year in the playoffs, same with their defense. Installing a new read and react system like this might be their undertaking for why they won't be in the finals this year. Lakers, we know that LeBron and Luka are great, but look at the rest of the roster. They are too top-heavy, great stars, no bench depth. They lack point-of-attack defense and consistent three-point shooting. The front office seems more focused on the overall future rather than maximizing this specific season, and when you're relying on a 41-year-old LeBron and a roster with clear flaws, the chances of a title are slim. The Magic are scary on defense, absolutely terrifying, but you cannot win a title in the modern NBA without consistent shooting. Amazing defensive team, but they're still offensively challenged and lack said shooting. They were dead last in both three-pointers made and three-pointers attempted last season. Adding Desmond Bane and Tyus Jones helps, but it might not be enough to elevate their offense from bad to championship level. The Mavericks won the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. Pairing him with talent like Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis is insane. The only issue is, can they stay healthy all season? It's scary to say, but Kyrie, AD, and even Flag are one bad landing away from this not working out. The Nets are in the middle of a rebuild. They have a ton of draft picks on a young, unproven team with a bunch of playmakers and a clogged backcourt. This team ain't trying to win a title right now, which is why they're not going to win a title this season. Nuggets, I will say they are heavy favorites, especially thanks to Nikola Jokic and, well, does Nikola have any all-star help? He hasn't had any for his entire career, and if the Nuggets don't win a title this season, it would be precisely because of that reason. I understand that there's a lot of Nuggets players that probably deserve to make an all-star team, but the point still stands that Nikola never had his A1 superstar sidekick that so many NBA championship teams have. Pacers, their reason is straightforward and unfortunate. Tyrese is out with his injury. You simply cannot lose your all-NBA franchise point guard and expect to compete at the championship level. Pelicans, Zion Williamson looks slim and ready to go, but even if he makes the playoffs, he has zero playoff experience, and that will hinder him from reaching the NBA Finals and winning there. Pistons, I'll start off by saying that this team got better faster than most were expecting, but they still probably have to go through growing pains. Cade Cunningham is a great star for this team, but again, they are still a little too young to say, hey, this is a title-bound team. Raptors, they're kind of in the middle of a rebuild, but they're also kind of clinging on to mediocrity. They are not fully sold on a rebuild, but they're not going to win a title this year. The Rockets went all in by trading for a 37-year-old Kevin Durant, and hey, I like their bravery in doing so, but it is a risky investment nonetheless. To make matters worse, their starting point guard Fred VanVleet is out with an ACL injury, which means they're asking Amin Thompson or Reed Shepherd to try and replace what he could bring to the table. This is a team with championship or bust expectations, which sometimes is a recipe for disaster, especially with KD getting too old. Spurs, they have the best young core in the league with back-to-back Rookie of the Year winners. They even have the potential to have back-to-back-to-back winners 3 in a row. We don't know that for sure, but what we do know is they're probably a little too young to say that this is a current title team. Suns, outside of Devin Booker, the Suns completely blew up their core and they don't have an identity. Now it's Devin Booker's team, and he's a phenomenal player, but it's just Devin Booker's team. And what's this team's philosophy? Where are they even going? Where's the defense? What's gonna happen? I don't know. Probably not a title though. The Thunder are defending champs. They won 68 games last year, and heck, I will be the first to say that they have a great chance at repeating, but if they get title hangover, that's what's gonna stop them from doing so. They might be a little too relaxed, and it does happen more than you think. So if this team doesn't keep their eye on the prize, it could easily slip from their grip. The Timberwolves have been to back-to-back Western Conference Finals and failed in each of them. They keep falling short. 2-8 is their overall record in said back-to-back Western Conference Finals, and they've done nothing to solve this issue. That means unless Anthony Edwards becomes like his father and has an MVP season, it's going to be tough to say what they do this season. Trailblazers, they are in the middle of a rebuild. They have some nice pieces, but they're still searching for that key franchise player. Scoot Henderson could be that guy, but he's not there yet, so this season they're not winning the title. The Warriors are certainly making history this year, but only for being the first NBA starting five with 4 35-plus-year-olds in the same starting five. You can't beat Father Time. Anything is possible, but most likely not a championship for the 2025-26 Warriors. And last but not least, or maybe least, the Wizards. They are in the middle of a rebuild. They have a ton of young prospects and hopefully a bright future, but as of today, they have no established star. This is a development year, plain and simple. So here's why each NBA team will not win the championship this season. Let me know who you think is going to win the championship this season. Don't forget to dunk on that like button and subscribe with notifications turned on. I'm Rebound Rewind, and I'll fast forward to you later.